Mabuhay and welcome to Future Focus, the podcast where we discuss global issues and solutions for a better tomorrow. Today we're talking about two critical sustainable development goals, ending poverty and the hunger, especially in the Philippines, and how science, technology, and innovation or STI can help in achieving these goals. With us today are three amazing guests. Jasmine, a researcher in agricultural technology, John a social entrepreneur focused on rural development, and Micaela, a policy analyst specializing in STI policies in the Philippines. So, welcome everyone! Okay, let's start with some background. So, Micaela, can you help us understand the current situation of poverty and hunger in the Philippines?
Of course, Alex, despite the economic growth in the urban centers, poverty and hunger remain significant challenges in many parts of the Philippines. I think over 16% of the population here lives below the national poverty line, and hunger especially problematic in rural areas where many families depend on agriculture.
That's right, Ella. Many farmers don't have access to modern farming techniques or technologies, which limits their crop yields. Without these tools, it's tough for them to escape the cycle of poverty and food insecurity. Science, technology, and innovation have a huge role to play in improving the food security and lifting people out of poverty.
Let's dive into that idea. Jasmine, can you tell us how the government and local organizations view STI as a means to tackle poverty and hunger?
Certainly, Josh. The Philippine government has recognized the potential of STI to drive sustainable development, especially in agriculture and rural development. Through the Department of Science and Technology or DOST, there are programs that promote technologies for agriculture, such as high-yield crop varieties and improved irrigation methods. There is also a push for local innovations that make food production for efficient and sustainable.
Janner, as someone who works directly with communities, do you see STI making a difference for farmers and rural families?
Yes, definitely. For example, there are initiatives that provide farmers with mobile apps for real-time weather forecasts and market prices for their product, which help them make a better decision. Another impactful innovation is the solar powered cold storage, which help farmers store and preserve their products. Without it, they often have to sell their products at a low price to avoid the spoilage of it. These technologies give them more control over their livelihood and food supply.
It sounds like there's great potential for STI to improve lives, but I'm sure that there are challenges as well. Michaela, what are some of the barriers to using STI effectively to address poverty and hunger in the Philippines?
One major barrier is infrastructure. Many rural areas lack of internet connectivity and stable electricity, which limit access to digital tools and modern farming equipment. Education is also an issue without basic training. It's difficult for farmers to adopt new technology. They may not know how to use it properly without proper guidance.
Another challenge is funding. Many innovative solutions that could help reduce hunger and poverty need significant investment to develop and scale. Unfortunately, projects that focus on social impact often don't attract enough investment because they may not promise fast financial returns. Government support can help, but public and private partnership are also needed to make this project sustainable.
Oh, and there's also the regulatory aspect. For example, new agricultural biotechnologies like high-yield crops or pest-resistant crops has to go through a lengthy approval processes, where regulation are important. they can sometimes slow down the adaptation of inefficient technologies. Making the regulatory process more streamlined while ensuring safety would help get these technologies to farmers faster.
Despite these challenges, there are success stories that show the potential of STI in reducing poverty and hunger. Michaela, could you share an example of a successful program?
Sure. One example is the use of bio-N fertilizer developed by Filipino scientists, which help farmers increase their rice yield naturally and affordable. This innovation has not only boosted productivity but also helped reduce dependency on chemical fertilizers, which with great yield, farmers can feed their families better and to have extra crops to sell, improving their income.
Another success story I'd like to highlight is the Tech for Ed centers, which offer digital literacy programs in rural areas. These centers teach people how to use technology to access market information and business tools, empowering them to earn a better income. They even provide resources for alternative livelihood, which help diversify income sources for families reliant on farming.
And on a larger scale, there's the Science for Change program by DOST, which funds community projects focused on sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, and clean water. These projects help communities become more self sufficient and resilient to issues like climate change, which heavily impact food security.
For those listening who want to support STI for poverty and hunger reduction in the Philippines, what can they do, John Er?
One way to help is by supporting local social enterprises and startups focused on food security and poverty alleviation. Many of these enterprises work directly with rural communities and government, and even a small investment can make a big difference. You can also volunteer or partner with organizations that are dedicated to promoting agricultural and food technologies.
Another option is to advocate to better policies that support STI initiatives. By raising awareness about the potential of STI to solve hunger and poverty, we can encourage the government and private sector to invest in these areas. Supporting policies that prioritize inclusive technologies and infrastructure development in rural areas can have a big impact.
If you're a student or young professional, consider getting involved in fields related to sustainable agriculture, science, or social entrepreneurship. There's a great need for talent in these areas, and new ideas are essential for creating lasting change.
Thank you, Michaela, John Er, and Jasmine for sharing your insights. It's clear that science, technology, and innovation offer powerful tools to address poverty and hunger. But achieving the SDGs requires a collective effort. For those of us who wants to make difference, it's about supporting innovation, advocating for better policies, and encouraging education and awareness. And thank you to our listeners. Remember, tackling poverty and hunger isn't just about providing food, it's about creating sustainable solutions. Join us next time as we explore more paths toward a sustainable future. Until then, stay informed and stay inspired.